Hey guys, nandito kami sa Titanic grave site. Yung lumubog na yung Titanic. So, ito yung mga nandirito yung mga namatay. So, dito sila.
Dito parte ng tour natin. Inano ko lang na pag-may tayo. Dalhin tayo sa Halifax. Kasi
So, they are the one. I thank you.
Site, there are 121 bodies laid to rest.
Oh,
Yep. Underneath all of these stones.
oh.
Yep. Now, just so you know, excuse me, this is what you're going to see on each one.
Yeah.
And if the person was identified, the name is here, died April 15, 1912. This is the number they were recovered from the ocean.
So,
that was the 313 person
person
that they pulled out of the ocean.
Yeah.
Now, if you see no name here and no name here, the body is not identified. So they have been laid the rest here and nobody knows who they are. It's so sad.
That's so sad.
But later
Really sad.
on, after they were buried, if they found out who the person was, the name goes from here, it'll be right there. All right.
Okay.
Now, some of the headstones are bigger than others because
Why so?
they were sponsored by a church, a university, like this guy over here.
That one there too.
Yeah, and some of these ones. I'll tell you about one up there in a minute. He was Bruce Ismay, who was the president of the White Star Line. His personal secretary is a bigger one. So, anyway, come on up and we'll have a look at them.
Ayan.
In some
Loving
cases,
memory of
the
Ernest.
families sent a little bit of money. They couldn't bring them home, but they sent a little extra money. But often it was their local church that would raise funds and send a
Age
little extra,
28
right?
years old.
Now, here's one here for an example. Laid to rest, body number 308. Nobody knows who it is.
Nobody knows.
I just find that sad.
It is sad.
Yeah,
I just, you know.
it's really sad.
Anyway, this one here,
He's a
Ernest
prim-
Friedman, 50 years
Ernest-
old. He was the personal secretary of the gentleman who was the major owner of the Titanic.
Yeah.
He was the president of the White Star Line.
Oh.
And so that's anyway.
the
The
one.
guy's name was Bruce Ismay. He's the guy that earned the name of the
Save
coward
others.
of the
Oh, there
Titanic.
guys, you guys can read.
because many
See?
people didn't survive.
The
This
surviving
is the guy who
son.
did a lot of negative things. Not enough lifeboats,
Oh, yeah.
causing the captain to go too fast in iceberg waters. That's who was behind it. And then, of course, he gets in a lifeboat, and he's a survivor. So they nicknamed him the Coward.
Oh, yeah.
Right? And eventually, 6 months after this happened, he was forced to sell all of his ownership of the White Star Line and get out of the business.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Wow.
he came here personally to put this here because this guy is a hero.
He's the captain.
Yeah.
Oh,
He's a hero. No, that's his
that's-
personal secretary.
Personal secretary.
And what he did is, when the disaster happened, he was helping load lifeboats.
wow.
And when Ismay comes along, everybody recognizes him. Oh, Mr. Ismay.
So
right?
that's the guy who
This
just
guy
like
here.
The guy.
bad.
Get in,
bad.
sir. Get in, sir. And he says, I'm going to get in, but I want him with me. But this guy, I'm not
Said
going.
no.
I'm
Yeah.
staying here to help.
Yeah.
And so his body was found. He lost his life, but he has become a hero.
Yeah,
Now,
of
he's
course.
From, I think it's Liverpool, England, where he's from.
Yeah.
Anyway, in his hometown, they have another burial site
For
just for
him.
him. And
Oh.
he is a
Yeah,
hero.
take a picture.
Oh,
So-
here guys, he's
Yeah.
the hero of the
It
Titanic.
makes the bad. Bad,
yeah.
bad. Bad guy.
Yeah.
Oh, meron siyang ano.
Anyway, just so you know, Bruce Ismay went on to live.
There's another one.
His family left him. He lived in
Yeah,
seclusion.
seclusion, yeah.
He was an alcoholic.
Yeah. It's guilt.
Became
Yeah.
a severe diabetic.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
Had
guilt.
his leg amputated. And in
Oh.
1937 had a stroke. and died shortly after that. But he lived by himself and
Yeah.
had no contact with anybody. So he had a life, but he really didn't.
Yeah.
Different. Yeah.
Now I was
And he didn't want to help, so
Alma Paulson that you folks watch.
and loving. Oh.
Almost all.
When you watch that movie, the lady that came out with the 4 kids, she was
Alma.
found. Okay? She was found.
And the children.
The children, none of them were found.
Oh, that's so sad.
Well, yeah, 2 years old. But
Oh,
this little guy,
Anna.
Costa, and I'll tell you about this one next. This is who they thought it was, but they couldn't put a
They
name
don't
on
know.
it.
Yeah, yeah.
Because they
Later
don't
on,
know.
they called it young name child. Later on, they found out who this was, and I'll tell you about that in a minute.
Yeah.
Anyway, the story with her is so sad. Her husband, Niles, he loses his job. He's a miner, and so he loses his job. So he goes to Chicago, and Alma's brothers are there, 2 of them, and they get him a job as a tram operator. He saves every penny, sends all the money back to her, and says, "There's the money. Come and join me." So she's on her way to join her husband
Oh, that's so
and start a new
sad.
life with her family.
That's so sad.
And the sad thing is, she's one of those ones who were delayed getting up from 3rd class. And when she gets up, all of the boats are gone.
Oh,
I know, it's just,
so
1,
sad.
2, 3, 4.
Anyway,
There's a 2
this
years
one
old
here-
still.
is a very unique story. Again, you've got a different size headstone. This,
Oh, that's their picture.
huh?
It's a picture.
Yeah, that's the picture. This particular headstone was purchased and placed here by the shipping company crew.
Erected in memory
Number
of
4.
unknown
This was the
child.
4th body they found. All right, and they were just overwhelmed. They, and they initially they didn't know who the child was, so they paid for this headstone. And of course, they thought for years it was Costa, the little 2-year-old over there, but they couldn't put it on there because they weren't sure. And thank heavens they didn't.
Yeah, yeah.
Because what happened is, in 2006,
So it's Sydney.
distant relatives from this family thought perhaps that this
It's
child
Sydney.
was in their bloodline. So,
Oh,
that was
you're a killer.
so they gave permission for the body to be exhumed, and they did DNA testing.
Yeah.
And it's right.
And this is who they found out who it was: Sidney Leslie Goodwin. Now, here's the story of Sidney Leslie Goodwin.
He's only 4 years
His
old.
family was scheduled to be on the New Yorker, another ship that belonged to the White Star Line. There had been a coal strike just before the Titanic was supposed to sail, okay? But the strike ended 1 week before the sailing, but the production of coal hadn't picked up yet. So what they had to do is they had to take coal from other ships to bring to the Titanic so that the Titanic could have its maiden voyage. Well, this family was supposed to be on the New Yorker. They got transferred from the New Yorker to the Titanic. Yay, the big beautiful ship.
Yeah.
Now, here's the bad part. Husband, wife, Sydney, and 5 other kids. All of them lost their life. This is the only one that was found. So there were 8 in that family who lost their lives because they got transferred from the New Yorker to the Titanic because of the doggone coal strike. Isn't that a sad story?
Yes.
Talk about bad luck. Anyway, you'll see this, by the way, quite often. The money that's left here won't last long because somebody will pick it up at the night time when they're homeless or something like that. But there's always little toys, and yesterday there was coins galore there. But it disappears at night, right? Anyway, that's another story.
All right.
Now, those who watched the movie witnessed the band playing till the very end. Well, apparently in true life, it played on, but not to the very end. If you read the literature, They stopped before the thing broke in half and sank. And it showed that in the movie that they were still playing. Well, it was close to that. Anyway, this is one of the band, John Law Hume. And the story that goes along with this one is a story that's going to make you angry. Because 2 months after all this is said and done, the Humes, the family, the mother and father, they get a letter from the company that rented the outfits for the band. Haven't got the outfit back, where's the money for it?
Oh my God.
2 months after they bury the son, this is what they get. I don't know what the response was, but I certainly know what my response would have been.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Can you imagine?
Immediately.
Didn't get the money.
Wow.
Yeah. Anyway,
Wow, that's good. That's good. Thank you. Thank you.
and of course you're all going to want to see
Dahil dalawa tayo.
Jack Dawson.
Who?
Jack Dawson, Leonardo.
Who's where? Where is him? We want to see him. Where is Jack? Oh, is that him?
This is probably the nicest one here.
Loving
And
him.
apparently this guy was one of the guys that was going to spend some time in Canada and the U.S. Apparently he was quite brilliant. And you can see the university that sponsored him. Anyway, he was going to show some of his inventions to the people who were in Canada and the United States to see if he'd get some stuff going. And of course he's on board and he gets sponsored. Anyway, come on over and see Jack Dawson.
Oh,
Now,
is he the one?
Yes.
this is the one that people associate with Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yeah, yeah.
Now, after the movie, some
Jack?
people couldn't differentiate Jack Dawson, Leonardo DiCaprio. There would be flowers. Oh, you wouldn't believe it. For years, they would come here. There'd be flowers and love letters and all kinds of stuff.
So
Now,
that's
it's calmed
him.
down
That is
now.
Jack.
But this guy's name was Joseph Dawson. He wasn't a stowaway.
Yeah.
He was a trimmer.
Okay.
And what a trimmer does is they take coal in great big wheelbarrows. They bring it up to the stokers who fired in the furnace. So that's what he did, right? So, and he was just, I believe he was quite young. I think like 21 years old or something. So, but people couldn't differentiate. As soon as they saw J. Dawson, they thought of Leonardo.
Oh, so that it's not him.
How they romanticize everything.
Yeah, I know. That's what happened, right?
No.
Anyway, what I'd like to do is come on down there. I want you to just have a peek at the site and just kind of give me your general